Welcome to our YouTube channel, where wisdom meets inspiration. In this channel, we share valuable insights to help you become the best version of yourself. Our content is designed to uplift your spirit and enrich your life. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay connected with this incredible journey. Click the subscribe button below.
Please see this. Your own awareness and your will decide the level of your attention. Now, if your awareness is completely scattered, which means your thought process, it's entirely invested in your thought process. Usually we don't understand anything by pure awareness. We usually know awareness as invested in the thought process, as thoughts, emotions, attitudes, all these things arising in our mind. If I use the word pure awareness, you may not have thought about it too much. But according to Vedanta, awareness is the primary, pure awareness is the real you. Everything else, even mind activity, is external to you. So you can perfectly watch what is going on in your mind. It is an objective process. The mind itself is object. You, the awareness, are the subject. I'm giving you an important Vedantic idea here. Any point of time, you, the awareness, are seeing your thoughts, feeling your emotions, looking at your attitudes, interacting with the world of objects outside. You, the awareness, are doing this. That is why awareness is not even your property, it is you, essentially. Pure awareness is what is called the Atman, the self within. And this awareness is getting invested in the thought process, so your thoughts are becoming conscious thoughts. It is getting constantly invested in the thought process. Now, the thing is, if you can isolate this awareness even a bit, you will have enormous power within you to direct your will towards your goals. Let me give you a simple example here. It's a very beautiful example which actually happened in the life of Rabindranath Tagore. You have heard his name? His contributions, you know about it. See, he was very fond of nature. And he used to spend long hours in the midst of nature. Once he was going on a boat, traveling on the Yamuna river and enjoying the scenery, everything around. Then it was twilight and the sun was setting. So he lit a candle. And in that beautiful atmosphere, he tried to write some poetry. But it so happened that he was such a great poet, but that day the poetry just did not flow. He tried for some time, then it did not happen. It was dark by then. So he put off the candle and he just lay down in the boat. And then he suddenly saw the moonlight had flooded the boat entirely. And all the surroundings, and like a magical effect all around. He was very sensitive to all this. And so, as soon as he saw this, the beauty of the entire scene and the moonlight flooding the entire atmosphere, poetry just started flowing from his mind. And somehow he scribbled, there was no light, he had put off the candlelight, he scribbled it into a notebook. And the most wonderful poems came out at that time. The point is this, the candlelight represents your mind. The moonlight represents awareness, pure awareness which you are. If you remove the mind temporarily, you put off the candlelight and touch that awareness, see the moonlight, enormous creativity will be released, power will be released from within you. Every greatly creative person knows this. The mind, conscious mind, has to be removed a little. Every scientist also knows this. Some of the greatest truths of science have come out from the subconscious, somewhere from the deep within you, not even from the conscious thinking, cogitating mind. So, this is a technique, a yogic technique, which you can adopt. If you intensify this pure awareness, not that you are intensifying awareness as such, because awareness is always there. Mind is flickering. But since we are looking at it from the standpoint of the mind, if you train your mind to touch this pure awareness, enormous power is released from within you. And you can direct your will. These two decide your attention. You direct your will to whatever you want to achieve. That is why it is possible to enhance awareness by opening up the mind, training the mind to open up, and by keeping your will unidirectional. If the will is constantly changing directions, you cannot have the power of attention at all, obviously. So this is how you culture awareness and will in order to master your attention. These are the undercurrents of attention. Understand, this is in-depth yoga psychology. If you can understand the basic fact about your mind, you know how yoga sees mind? It is thoughts flitting upon awareness. If you remove that thought world, if awareness comes to the forefront, Vedanta will say awareness only is the truth about you. Obviously, at any given point of time, you are aware, most of all, and then identified maybe, if you choose to be. But awareness is your fundamental nature. So if this is brought to the forefront, and if the will is kept unidirectional, the will born of your awareness, you have mastered the art of attention. Anything this will focuses upon will be yours. Because there is the intensity of awareness behind it. You have generated one beam, as it were. Samadhi state is something like this, where you get the knowledge of the object completely. So if this is a possibility with you. If you can master this, you see, just now you're hearing of it. When you go home, if you think about it, you will probably be getting these videos because they are recording everything. If you are able to think and dwell upon this, you will understand what magical effect this has on your life. This is the actual truth about you. You can muster any level of concentration and you can get anything you want out of life if you understand these basic concepts. So take charge of yourself. This is the message in the Bhagavad Gita. Uddharet atmana atmanam. Na atmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhu. Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. You are your own best friend or your own worst enemy. If your own intelligence is working against you, you are your enemy. If you do not train your mechanism like this, you will become your own enemy. And if you train it, you become your own friend. There are no friends and enemies outside. Your mind is your number one friend or your number one enemy. Isn't this true? So, understanding this, I am happy to see such bright young minds here. Understand the importance of training this equipment a little. This is all I want from you. You can master the highest levels of attention if you just do this much. And if you leave it into the hands of somebody should direct my thought process. I am too lazy to do it. Somebody should decide what emotions I should have. So then you are a slave to the outer world, isn't it? Is there any meaning in living like this? He is a man who is in charge of himself. And you can decide your life's experiences, the quality of your life, if you have a little bit of this substance in you. So your own psychology, this is, yoga psychology belongs to your heritage. Vedanta belongs to your heritage. It is telling you fundamental facts about yourself. And if you go into these depths and uncover these truths for yourself, abhi aapne suna hai, you must make this your own by thinking about it repeatedly. Once you master this situation, success is in your hands. Anything you apply yourself to, you will be successful there. It's no issue to become successful. If you have not mastered this, many things you require to make you successful, which are all variables. So understand what you need to do in life. There is no point in learning concentration, of course, if you cannot focus it on worthy goals. This is also there. If you teach high levels of concentration to an idiot or to a person who has no good sanskars, well, it can cause a lot of destruction. If Hitler is taught how to develop great concentration, he will do more devastation. So the point is, you must have worthy goals. Achhe sanskar hone chahiye. That's why I told you the base, the mind should be good. For that, develop the right habits, your little everyday life. There, if you regulate your habits, you take in the right good food through your senses, you develop good thoughts, higher interests, concentration techniques, you develop good sanskars that way. Sanskars neurophysiologically translate into engrams in your brain. What I'm calling sanskar in the mind, it is neurophysiologically called an engram in your brain. So when you have the positive engrams, you know your neural pathways. You know how you will function in any given situation. You know your decisions will be firm. You develop confidence. You develop clarity. you build your life. This is the way to practically build life right at this age. Today you are medical students. Tomorrow you will be in such responsible positions. If you are not in charge of yourself, don't think anybody is going to sort of excuse you from life. You will be blamed for everything. You will be pointed to. You will be looked up to or looked down upon. So you must be in charge of yourself, always. Your center of gravity should be within you, isn't it? Not in somebody outside of you, something outside of you. So if you know these basic facts about attention, about mind management, you can handle yourself perfectly in this world, no matter how changing the situations outside, how precarious the tree upon which you have to stand and shoot your arrow, you will do it successfully. Knowing this, okay, this is just a picture about the 5 states of mind I told you about. Please see this, the last 2 states, Ekagra and Niruddha, is what yoga psychology focuses upon. How to generate them. It's all in your psychology, yogic psychology. And if you learn that, you will see that these 2 states are self-directed and self-sustained. They are done by your own will. They are not dependent on objects outside. You attain to, you see, this is the difference between what we understand by flow today and what yoga psychology in addition has to contribute. Your states of flow should be self-generated and self-sustained. Isn't it? It should not depend on the object. Usually flow is understood to be a function between skill and challenge. Have you noticed this? If there's a very challenging situation, suppose you're faced with a big mathematical problem and you have the skill to solve that problem. If skill meets challenge, flow is generated in your mind. A state of complete absorption there is generated. But your state of absorption should not just depend on the challenge. This is what yoga is telling you. At any given point of time, whether the challenge is there or not, you must be in an alert state. You must be in a state of optimal activity in the mind, a state of deep inner alertness and calmness, and then you will be successful anywhere.
Become Swami Vivekananda's messenger. Share the video with 3 of your friends.